Agreeing with villains is such an odd discussion, but admittedly a fun one. We seem to connect to the villains in a way that they are what we could have been. What I've noticed is how the villains are justifying their actions. Syndrome talks about how Mr. Incredible treated him badly, which gave him a negative view towards heroes and even jealousy.
All I wanted was to help you.
I only wanted to help! And what did you say to me?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
Thanos saw his world collapsing and was willing to do anything to save it.
Titan was like most planets. Too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution. They called me a madman.
Darth Vader became a broken man, wanting to protect the person he loved.
Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
Every good villain always tells little truth to get their point across. Doesn't matter if they're killing people for the supposedly greater good, or seeing a corrupt society, they'll find a way to reason with what they're doing. We seem to start to see a side of the villains we feel for, whether it's pity or maybe their drive. Maybe it was unfair what happened to them.
Life's not fair, is it? You see, I shall never be king.
Not your fault? Who filled my head with dreams? Who drove me to train until my bones cracked? Who denied me my destiny? It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair!
Maybe they had the best intentions but just executed it in the wrong way.
Criminals like you who chase petty dreams, they must all be purged. Everything that I do is to create a stronger society.
Maybe we see their frustration with the world that we feel from time to time.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get?
I don't think so.
When you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash!
Do they relate to us just a little bit to the point where we're either on their side or we gain a little bit of understanding of who they are? Maybe it's that they're so good at manipulating that it even works on the audience. We love the showmanship and the way that they talk. We start to side with them because every villain gives at least one truth to manipulate you. You know who this sounds a lot like? Adolf Hitler. This guy convinced people with his speeches the same way villains in movies use their speech to manipulate. The rhythm of his speeches would get people emotional and rile them up with quotes like, "One is either the hammer or the anvil. We confess that it is our purpose to prepare the German people again for the role of the hammer." Or a quote like, "Do not compare yourself to others. If you do so, you are insulting yourself." He was very charismatic on stage and would put on a show. He saw himself as the savior of the world on the brink of disaster. He used this to commit genocide against the Jews and convinced everyone the Jews were the problem. Funny enough, Hitler wanted to fight against communism and wanted his people to be strong, only to lead them down a dark path. Every villain that's iconic has these traits, which is interesting, but at the same time terrifying. Because it works. There's people that actually agree with Thanos. We like quoting the villains rather than the heroes. The showmanship gets our attention to the point that we forget the evil that they are carrying out.
With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
Come on, Murray. Do I look like the kind of clown that could start a movement? I killed those guys because they were awful. Everybody is awful these days. It's enough to make anyone crazy.
And out of the ashes, a new world will be born. A world in which all the lands are Fire Nation, and I am the supreme ruler of everything.
We'll bring an end to the Senate, to their cherished fleet. All remaining systems will bow to the First Order, and we'll remember this as the last day of the Republic. Unsere herrliche Bewegung und damit zu unserem ewigen deutschen Volk. Deutschland, Sieg, Heil! Heil! A new power is rising. Its victory is at hand. This night, the land will be stained with the blood of Rohan. March alive!
I will be king. Stick with me, and you'll never go hungry again.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. You were made to be ruled. In the end, you will always kneel.
The Republic that we reorganize into the first Galactic Empire!